I feel like I've lived so many lives already, looking back at all of that stuff. And, oh, yeah, I mean, I could write volumes on probably every experience around every song that I've ever released.
Shania Twain's life and career have been a roller coaster ride of triumphs and tribulations, marked by soaring highs and devastating lows. From humble beginnings in a small town in Ontario, Canada, to becoming one of the best-selling female artists in music history, Shania's journey has been nothing short of extraordinary. But amidst the glitz and glamour of her meteoric rise to fame, Shania has faced her fair share of challenges, including personal heartbreak, health struggles, and the loss of her voice. But through sheer determination and unwavering resilience, Shania has emerged from the darkest moments of her life as a symbol of empowerment and strength. Today, we'll delve into the remarkable story of how Shania Twain rose above adversity, reclaiming her voice and her place in the spotlight as an enduring icon of triumph and resilience. Facts First presents Shania Twain is reclaiming her life one song at a time. Early life. Shania Twain, born Eileen Regina Edwards on August 28, 1965 in Windsor, Ontario, Canada, had a childhood marked by both hardship and a deep connection to music. She was raised in Timmins, Ontario, a small town known for its mining industry. She was the second oldest of 5 siblings in a financially struggling household. Her parents, Sharon and Clarence Edwards, faced financial instability as well as a tumultuous relationship. They split when Shania was quite young, and Sharon married a man named Jerry. Shania revealed later on that Jerry was abusive with both her mother and her, and yet she was still devastated when Sharon and Jerry died in a tragic car accident when Shania was only 22. Despite the difficulties she faced, music became a significant part of Shania's early life. Growing up, she often found solace in singing and songwriting, using music as an outlet for her emotions. And despite the troubles she faced with her stepfather, she still credits him with introducing her to country music. Her introduction to performing came at a young age, as she often sang in local bars and clubs to help support her family financially. Her mother used to sneak her into local bars after the alcohol was no longer being served. Shania would get up on the counter and start performing for whomever was still in the bar.
But kind of like that bar counter, yeah. Oh, I'm telling you, I was 3 when I did that.
Wow.
And
Good thing it didn't fall off.
that was my first stage, my first little stage. So.
These early experiences on stage honed her skills as a performer and solidified her love for music. Despite her young age, she demonstrated a remarkable stage presence and vocal prowess, drawing attention wherever she performed. The Edwards family faced frequent moves during Shania's childhood due to her father's job in the mining industry, which added an element of instability to her upbringing. But these experiences exposed Shania to different environments and cultures, shaping her worldview and influencing her musical style. Her childhood experiences laid the foundation for her remarkable journey in music. Blossoming as a teenager. During her teenage years, Shania Twain, still known as Eileen Edwards, continued to navigate the challenges of her upbringing while also nurturing her passion for music. With her parents passing and her family's financial struggles, Shania took on various jobs to help support herself and her siblings. As a teen, she delved deeper into songwriting, using it as a means of expression and catharsis. She drew inspiration from her personal experiences, including the loss of her parents and the hardships her family faced. Writing songs became a therapeutic outlet for her emotions, allowing her to channel her feelings into her music.
Music is my great escape. It's the me time. It is my isolation time.
Sure.
It's just a time where I can get lost in my songwriting and forget about the rest of the world for a little bit. Songwriting is this creative space where I can just make up whatever it is I want to feel. I can create my mood, I can set the tone, I can express. It is my genuine therapy. So yeah, it's my go-to, it's my self-help.
Shania's musical influences continued to expand during her teenage years. While her stepfather introduced her to country music, she also developed a love for rock and pop genres, blending these influences into her own unique style. Her diverse musical tastes later contributed to the crossover appeal of her music, attracting fans from various backgrounds. Despite the challenges she faced, Shania remained determined to pursue a career in music. She continued to perform at local venues, honing her craft and gaining valuable experience as a performer. Her talent and dedication began to attract attention, laying the groundwork for future success. In her late teens, she made the bold decision to pursue her musical aspirations full-time, moving to Toronto to further her career. This move marked a pivotal moment in her life as she embarked on a journey to pursue her dreams in the competitive music industry. Her career begins. Shania Twain's early career was marked by both perseverance and setbacks as she navigated the challenging landscape of the music industry. In Toronto, she initially struggled to gain traction. She faced rejection from record labels and encountered numerous obstacles in her quest to establish herself as an artist. Undeterred, she continued to hone her craft, performing at local venues and working odd jobs to support herself. These days, when she reflects on how she managed to push through early on, she says she relied on her abilities. Shania's talent and determination eventually caught the attention of music executives. In 1993, she released her self-titled debut album, Shania Twain, which garnered some attention but failed to make significant impact commercially. The album's lackluster performance left Shania feeling discouraged, but she remained determined to succeed in the industry. It was her second album, The Woman in Me, released in 1995, that proved her breakthrough. The album, produced by rock producer Robert John Mutt Lang, showcased Shania's unique blend of country, pop, and rock influences that featured hit singles like Whose Bed Have Your Boots Been Under and Any Man of Mine. The Woman in Me catapulted Shania to stardom, earning her critical acclaim and commercial success. The album went on to sell millions of copies worldwide, establishing Shania as a bona fide superstar. Becoming a superstar. From 1995 through 2005, she experienced an unprecedented rise to fame and cemented her status as one of the most successful and influential artists in the music industry. Following the breakout success of her '95 album, The Woman in Me, she continued to dominate the charts and captivate audiences worldwide. Her third studio album, Come On Over, released in 1997, became a cultural phenomenon. With hit singles like You're Still the One, From This Moment On, and Man, I Feel Like a Woman, the album showcased Shania's versatility as an artist and her ability to effortlessly blend country, pop, and rock elements. Come On Over shattered records, becoming the best-selling studio album by a female artist in any genre and one of the best-selling albums of all time. One enduring song from the album was the smash hit That Don't Impress Me Much, and perhaps the biggest reason it was such a talked-about song was its reference to Brad Pitt. It's been a topic of many interview questions for Shania over the years. Interestingly enough, she didn't have a great reason for putting him in there. In an interview with Smooth Country, she said, quote, "I know this doesn't sound like a very thoughtful reason, but when you're a songwriter, you're always drawing from inspiration. A lot of that inspiration is whatever it is that's around you. I take everything in very peripherally. And Brad Pitt's photo and name was just everywhere at the time. And the lyric that I was looking for, the syllable flow of it was perfect, short and sweet. Brad Pitt. I had no connection to Brad Pitt and still have no connection to Brad Pitt. I don't know how he feels about it or whatever, but we're both still around after all these years, which I think is a kind of cool parallel." During this period, Shania embarked on her first headlining tour, the Come On Over Tour, which further solidified her status as a global superstar. Her electrifying performances and magnetic stage presence captivated audiences around the world, earning her widespread acclaim as a live performer. She also made a significant impact beyond the realm of music. She became a fashion icon, known for her bold and glamorous style, and appeared in high-profile advertising campaigns for brands like Revlon. Her crossover appeal and undeniable charisma helped her transcend the boundaries of genre and establish herself as a cultural phenomenon. Her battle with Lyme disease. Shania Twain's battle with Lyme disease was a challenging and deeply personal struggle that profoundly impacted her life and career. Lyme disease is a bacterial infection transmitted to humans through the bite of infected black-legged ticks. Shania's experience with the disease began in the early 2000s when she started experiencing mysterious symptoms that ultimately changed the course of her life. The early symptoms of Lyme disease can vary widely and often mimic those of other illnesses, making it difficult to diagnose. She initially experienced fatigue, muscle aches, and flu-like symptoms, which she initially attributed to the rigors of her demanding schedule as a touring musician. However, as her symptoms persisted and worsened, she knew something more serious was at play. After seeking medical attention, Shania was diagnosed with Lyme disease, a revelation that came as a shock to her and her loved ones. Lyme disease can be challenging due to those non-specific symptoms and the lack of a definitive diagnostic test. Shania's diagnosis underscored the importance of raising awareness about the disease and advocating for better treatment and prevention measures. One of the most devastating consequences of Lyme disease for Shania was the impact it had on her voice. As a singer and performer, losing her voice was not just a physical setback, but also a profound emotional and psychological blow. Shania's voice, once her most powerful instrument, became weakened and strained, robbing her of the ability to sing with the same strength and clarity as before.
I was so trapped in this dysfunctional voice. The loss of my voice, oh my God, this was like, it was like losing, it was like a death. It was like something that I really believed I would never get back again, that was it.
The loss of her voice had far-reaching implications for Shania, affecting every aspect of her life and career. As a performer, she struggled to deliver the same dynamic performances that had endeared her to millions of fans worldwide. The emotional toll of watching her voice falter on stage, once her source of strength and expression, weighed heavily on Shania's spirit. Beyond the stage, she grappled with feelings of frustration, isolation, and despair as she navigated the challenges of living with Lyme disease. The physical symptoms of the illness, coupled with the emotional toll of her voice loss, tested her resilience and resolve in ways she had never imagined. Despite the immense challenges she faced, Shania refused to let Lyme disease define her. With unwavering determination and the support of loved ones, she embarked on a journey of healing and recovery, seeking out alternative treatments and therapies to regain her health and reclaim her voice. Her tragic marriage. Shania Twain's marriage to Robert John Mutt Lange was a significant chapter in her life that was marked by both love and heartbreak. Their relationship began in the early 90s, shortly after Shania's self-titled debut album was released. Mutt, a highly successful music producer known for his work with artists like Def Leppard and AC/DC, was immediately impressed by Shania's talent and unique musical style. The couple met when Mutt reached out to Shania to discuss potentially collaborating on her music. Their connection was instantaneous, and they quickly bonded over their shared passion for music and mutual respect for each other's talents. Despite their age difference, Mutt was nearly 20 years older than Shania, the couple found common ground and forged a deep emotional connection. Their courtship was whirlwind, characterized by romantic gestures and a shared enthusiasm for their musical partnership. Mutt played a pivotal role in shaping Shania's sound, helping her refine her songwriting and production techniques. Their collaboration would prove immensely successful, laying the foundation for Shania's groundbreaking albums and catapulting her to superstardom. In December 1993, Shania and Mutt tied the knot in a private ceremony in New Zealand, where Mutt was from. The couple exchanged vows surrounded by their closest friends and family, solidifying their commitment to each other and shared future. Their marriage seemed like a fairy tale come true, with Shania often describing Mutt as her soulmate and biggest supporter. But their seemingly idyllic marriage was shattered in 2008 when Shania discovered that Mutt was having an affair with her close friend Marie-Anne Thiebaud. The betrayal devastated Shania, who was blindsided by the revelation and struggled to come to terms with the end of her marriage. The emotional fallout from Mutt's infidelity took a toll on Shania's mental and physical well-being, plunging her into a period of deep sadness and turmoil. Not surprisingly, the tragedy of her divorce has made its way onto her songs. In 2018, she talked with Dan Rather about the themes of her then latest album. And while she was clear to say it wasn't a divorce album per se, the disillusion of their marriage was particularly painful for Shania as it coincided with her battle with Lyme disease, leaving her feeling vulnerable and alone. Despite the heartbreak, Shania found the strength to rebuild her life and eventually found love again with Frederick Thiebaud, Marie-Anne's ex-husband, whom she married in 2011. Disappearing from the music scene. After facing the dual challenges of battling Lyme disease and enduring the emotional turmoil of her divorce from Mutt Lange, Shania Twain faced a difficult period of personal and professional upheaval. These challenges took a significant toll on her physical and emotional well-being, prompting her to take a step back from the spotlight and focus on her health and healing. Shania's struggles with Lyme disease had a profound impact on her ability to perform and record music. The loss of her voice, once her most powerful instrument, left her feeling vulnerable and uncertain about her future in the music industry. As she grappled with the physical symptoms of the illness and the emotional fallout from her divorce, Shania made the difficult decision to step away from the music scene to prioritize her well-being. During her hiatus from the spotlight, Shania focused on her recovery, seeking out alternative treatments and therapies to manage her symptoms and regain her health. She also leaned on the support of her loved ones, including family and close friends, who stood by her side during this challenging time. Emotionally, Shania struggled to come to terms with the upheaval in her personal life and the loss of her voice as a performer. The uncertainty about her future weighed heavily on her spirit as she grappled with feelings of self-doubt and insecurity. But she remained determined to overcome adversity and emerge stronger than ever. Despite her absence from the music scene, her influence and impact remained undeniable. Her iconic songs continued to resonate with fans around the world, and her legacy as one of the most successful and influential artists of her generation endured. A major comeback. Since her return to the music scene in 2011, with the release of her album Now, Shania Twain has continued to make waves in the industry, solidifying her status as a legendary figure in country and pop. Her career from 2011 onwards has been characterized by a renewed sense of creativity, resilience, and artistic exploration. Her Las Vegas residency, titled Shania Still the One, which ran from December 2012 to December 2014, was a monumental event that showcased her enduring legacy. Taking place at the Coliseum at Caesar's Palace, the residency marked a triumphant return to the stage for Shania, following a lengthy hiatus from touring and performing. Still the One was a testament to her unparalleled talent as a performer and her ability to captivate audiences with her infectious energy and magnetic stage presence. The residency provided fans with a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to experience Shania's music in an intimate and immersive setting, with state-of-the-art sound and lighting enhancing the overall concert experience. Now, released in September 2017, marked Shania's first studio album in 15 years. The album was a deeply personal project for Shania, reflecting her journey of self-discovery and resilience in the face of adversity. With tracks like Life's About to Get Good and Swingin' with My Eyes Closed, Shania delivered an album that resonated with both longtime fans and new listeners alike, earning critical acclaim and commercial success. In addition to releasing new music, Shania embarked on a highly successful tour in support of Now, marking her first headlining tour in over a decade. The Now tour saw Shania performing to sold-out crowds across North America and Europe, showcasing her electrifying stage presence and timeless hits. She did a second residency in Las Vegas called Let's Go. Sadly, many of the dates were canceled due to the COVID pandemic. Beyond her music career, she's continued to explore other creative endeavors. In 2019, she made her acting debut in the film Trading Paint, starring alongside John Travolta. The role allowed Shania to showcase her versatility as an artist and further expand her presence in the entertainment industry. As she's continued her touring in later years, she's been thrilled by the reception of not only longtime fans, but also Shania's impact extends beyond the realm of music, as she remains an influential figure and cultural icon. In 2011, she released her memoir, From This Moment On, which offered fans an intimate glimpse into her life and career. The book became a New York Times bestseller, further solidifying her status as a beloved and enduring figure in popular culture. The latest. In 2022 and 2023, Shania Twain released new music that reinforced her status as a country and pop music icon. The highlight of this period was her sixth studio album, Queen of Me, which was released on February 3, 2023. This marked her first album since Now in 2017, and her debut with Republic Records, diverging from her long-standing relationship with Mercury Nashville. Notably, Queen of Me also became her first album to carry a parental advisory label. She talked about how the album was a perfect match for her current state of being.
The Queen of Me title for the new album it couldn't be more fitting for where I'm really at in my own mind.
Queen of Me received mixed reviews, with some critics noting Twain's enthusiastic performance and the high spirits conveyed through the album, despite commenting on the production's overwhelming presence at times. It debuted impressively across several key markets. In Canada, it secured a number 2 spot on the Canadian album chart, and in the US, it entered the Billboard 200 at number 10, marking Twain's 6th top 10 album in the country. It also achieved a number 1 position on the UK Albums Chart, her 3rd album to do so, and charted within the top 5 in Australia and Switzerland, among others. And Shania announced her 3rd Las Vegas residency, set to begin in 2024. This follows her successful Queen of Me tour in 2023, supporting the album of the same name, which featured both new songs from Queen of Me and classics from her extensive discography. The tour setlist varied slightly from location to location, but consistently included hits like Giddy Up from her latest album, alongside timeless favorites like Man, I Feel Like a Woman and You're Still the One. Twain's continued presence in the music scene, through both her new releases and live performances, highlights her enduring appeal and adaptability as an artist. Her upcoming Las Vegas residency promises to be another milestone in her illustrious career, offering fans both new and old a chance to experience her music live. Female empowerment and rising up. Shania Twain's relevance as a singer and artist transcends mere musical accomplishments. She embodies the essence of resilience, empowerment, and triumph over adversity. Her journey from the lowest points in her life back to stardom serves as a powerful testament to the human spirit and has resonated deeply with fans around the world. As an artist, her impact extends far beyond her chart-topping hits and record-breaking albums. Her music has served as a source of inspiration and empowerment for countless listeners, particularly women who found strength and solace in her anthems of self-confidence, independence, and resilience. Recently, she opined about the times we live in and how things are for women. In an interview with The Independent, she said, quote, "This is a historically challenging time for women to find space in many, many realms. I hope I can give other women the confidence not to fear feeling comfortable in their own skin, to refuse to be intimidated by anyone. It's a right and you need to own that." Throughout her career, Shania has fearlessly challenged conventions and defied expectations, blazing a trail for female artists in the traditionally male-dominated country music industry. With her bold and unapologetic approach to songwriting and performance, she shattered stereotypes and paved the way for a new generation of women in music. At the lowest point in her life, when faced with the devastating challenges of Lyme disease and the disillusion of her marriage, Shania demonstrated remarkable courage and resilience. Despite the immense personal and professional setbacks she encountered, she refused to be defined by her circumstances and instead embraced her struggles as opportunities for growth and transformation. Her triumphant return to the spotlight in 2011 symbolized her resilience and determination to overcome adversity. Through her music, she shared her journey of self-discovery and empowerment, inspiring others to embrace their own inner strength and persevere in the face of hardship. As a cultural icon, Shania Twain continues to serve as a beacon of hope and inspiration for fans around the world. Her rise from the lowest point in her life back to stardom exemplifies the power of resilience, determination, and the unwavering belief in oneself. And with each song, Shania reminds us no obstacle is insurmountable and that even in our darkest moments, there's always hope for a brighter tomorrow. Trisha Yearwood's early relationships.
This is the time of year that all the turtles have said goodbye for the
Where do they go?
for the winter.
Where do
They go to a
turtles
big party. Most of them that have money go to the south of France.
Yearwood's first marriage was to Chris Latham, lasting from 1987 to 91. This early experience with divorce later influenced her approach to relationships and personal growth. As her music career began to take off in the early 90s, she found herself navigating the complexities of balancing love and a burgeoning professional life. The romance blossomed quickly, and the couple soon became a notable pair in the Nashville music scene. Reynolds, with his own rising star as part of the Maverick, seemed to be a perfect match for Yearwood. The whirlwind romance and marriage.
This MCA reel was playing 24 hours a day on the TV, and I just tuned in. And there she was. And it all came together. this is the girl. This is the video. Yeah, it's all coming together. I said, this girl, I said, I don't know what it is, but I have like a high school crush on her.
In 1994, at age 30, Yearwood took a leap of faith and married Reynolds in a ceremony that seemed to embody their shared love of country music tradition. It took place at the historic Ryman Auditorium in Nashville, Tennessee. This venue, often referred to as the Mother Church of Country Music, was the former home of the Grand Ole Opry and held deep significance for both Yearwood and Reynolds. It seemed to symbolize their commitment not just to each other, but to their shared passion for country music. Their union at the time was seen as a perfect match, two rising stars in the country music world. In the early years of the marriage, Yearwood and Reynolds seemed to embody the ideal of a country music power couple. They supported each other's careers, often seen together at industry events and award shows. Their relationship appeared to be built on a foundation of shared interests and mutual respect for each other's talents. The challenges of fame and marriage.
Robert is a great communicator. I would not say that I am the best communicator, and I think he has brought it out of me. You know, I'm the one who will, you know, be kind of a jerk, and he won't really know why, and I won't really, you know, I'm the one who will all of a sudden say, why don't you ever put water in a dish in the sink before, you know, why do you let the cereal dry in the bowl? And I'm the one who will lose it over that, and it's really something else.
As Trisha's star continued to rise, the strain on her marriage to Robert Reynolds became increasingly apparent. The late 90s saw Yearwood's career reach new heights, with back-to-back wins as Female Vocalist of the Year at the Country Music Association Awards in '97 and '98. While these were undoubtedly deserved and celebrated, they also highlighted the growing disparity between Yearwood's and Reynolds' respective career trajectories. The demands of Trisha's flourishing solo career often meant long periods apart from Reynolds, who was busy with his own commitments to the Mavericks. The couple found themselves struggling to balance their individual professional lives with the needs of their marriage. And the intense public scrutiny that comes with fame added another layer of pressure to their relationship. Every public appearance, every career decision, and every perceived interaction became fodder for media speculation. This constant attention can be particularly challenging for a young couple still finding their footing in both their careers and their marriage. As Yearwood's popularity soared, she found herself increasingly in demand for tours, television appearances, and other commitments that took her away from home. Meanwhile, Reynolds was experiencing his own success with the Mavericks, but the band's schedule didn't always align with Yearwood's. The pressures of maintaining a public image while dealing with private struggles likely took a toll on both Yearwood and Reynolds. Growing apart.
Obviously, we're not together enough, not like most couples would desire. She's in Los Angeles tonight performing, and we're here. And it's tough at times, but we love our jobs, and we love our work, our art, our careers, whatever.
As the years went by, it became increasingly clear that Yearwood and Reynolds were growing apart rather than together. The irreconcilable differences cited in their eventual divorce filing likely encompassed a multitude of factors, from conflicting schedules to diverging personal and professional goals. One of the challenges they faced was the difficulty in finding shared time and experiences. With both of their careers demanding so much of their attention, it became harder to nurture their relationship. The excitement of their early romance began to fade in the face of day-to-day realities and the pressures of their high-profile lives. Additionally, as her solo career continued to skyrocket, she may have found herself outgrowing the dynamics of her marriage. Personal growth and evolving aspirations can sometimes lead partners in different directions. The divorce and its aftermath. After 5 years of marriage, Trisha Yearwood and Robert Reynolds filed for divorce in 1999. The official reason given was irreconcilable differences, a term that often masks the complex and painful realities of a relationship's breakdown. For Yearwood, who was now 35, this second divorce was a particularly difficult experience. In an interview with Country Weekly magazine, Yearwood opened up about the emotional toll of the split. Quote, "Since I do hang on to the past with my fingernails, divorce was difficult," she explained. "It's a serious decision involving someone you're tied to emotionally, so it's hard to move on. And it's easy to drag things out so you don't have to face people talking about you." This admission reveals the personal struggle that Yearwood faced in coming to terms with the end of her marriage. It also highlights the added pressure of going through such a personal crisis in the public eye. The divorce became a turning point for Yearwood, personally and professionally. Rather than allowing the experience to defeat her, she chose to channel her emotions into her music. The period of reflection and growth led to the creation of her album Real Live Woman, released in 2000. A musical catharsis. The album Real Live Woman stands as a testament to Trisha's resilience and her ability to transform personal pain into art. The title track, in particular, became an anthem of empowerment and self-acceptance. Yearwood explained her connection to the song, saying, quote, "I recorded Real Live Woman because I loved that the woman in the song is strong, independent, and to a point where she doesn't mind speaking her opinion. It says I'm confident, sexy, and wonderful, and here's the man who loves me the way I am. That's the woman I'm aspiring to be." Personal growth and new beginnings.
But in a marriage, if you can't do that, it has to be about the other person. So you have to figure out how to make that adjustment. And my theory is if you're not happy with yourself, you're not going to be happy in a marriage. So, and I've learned that lesson myself before. So I think that's the other thing. And we made our marriage a priority. So as much as we have these careers and as much as we are busy, we rarely spend a night apart. And when that was a conscious decision for us that we would not get married to be together, to be apart.
The period following her divorce was one of significant personal growth. She spoke about taking responsibility for her life and making changes where needed. Quote, "It's been a real emotional year," she told Country Weekly, "but it's been a journey. It's like I'm finally saying, at 35, it's time to take responsibility for myself, change the things that aren't working, and get on with it." Interestingly, it was during this time of personal reinvention that Yearwood's friendship with Garth Brooks began to deepen. While they had known each other for years, it wasn't until after Yearwood's divorce from Reynolds that the relationship evolved into something more romantic. Life after divorce for Trisha and Robert.
She was asking what our favorite part of the night was, and I think it's when, as much as we love the show, it's when we get in the car and head home and maybe drive through Taco Bell.
While Trisha's career continued to flourish after the divorce, Robert's life took a different trajectory. He remained with the Mavericks for several more years, but personal struggles began to overshadow his professional life. In 2014, he was removed from the band due to his battle with opiate addiction. He's been open about his struggles, sharing in a 2018 interview, quote, "Between 2007 and 2014, I was progressively self-medicating all of my hurts. I had a longing to be that group of guys with a singular vision. That's not realistic, I know, but it's my nature to hold on to the past." Tragically, he faced further hardship when his wife, Angie Crabtree Reynolds, passed away in 2015 after a long battle with cancer. But despite these challenges, he has shown resilience. He released new music in 2017 and has found a new path in life, living in Indiana with his partner Michelle and selling art on Etsy.
The only fraud that was committed was me thinking that I knew what it was like, that I really understood what it was like to be married, and I really didn't.
Celebrity romances have a reputation for being short. Fame is like a minefield that can blow up your union at any time. Some are shorter than others. One union between a famous actress and a country superstar fits that bill. A whirlwind romance led to a 4-month marriage and a speedy annulment. Despite the judge ruling the marriage never existed, it will always live in their hearts. They won't forget their time together, even if it was all too short. Keep watching to learn why Kenny Chesney and Renee Zellweger divorced immediately after this happened. How they met. Renee and Kenny met in January of 2005. They were both attending NBC's Concert of Hope to provide tsunami relief. In a 2022 interview with the Tennessean, he'd admitted that she was one of his major celebrity crushes. He also listed Charlize Theron and Janet Jackson among his 3 sexiest people, but had romantic words for Renee. He said, quote, "Here's a country girl who's still down to earth. You never see her coming, then wham, there she is. And that makes her really, really sexy. Plus, she seems like the kind of girl who could fit in and be at home anywhere." His song, You Had Me From Hello, was also rumored to be inspired by her famous line in Jerry Maguire. But Kenny's had a lot of problems with rumors in his life. Renee was also interested in him and had a small crush on him. She hoped to meet him and at least pass him a note during the event. Before she could do it, her publicist told Kenny about it. Perhaps they also thought it would be a great match. He walked over to her and jokingly said, "I hear you were trying to pass me a note. Don't let the principal find out." It worked like an effective pickup line, and they did have each other from Hello. It began as a low-key, long-distance relationship. They even managed to keep it hidden from the world. The public didn't know they were a couple for months. In April, Renee went out on stage at one of his concerts and delivered him a margarita and a kiss on the cheek. They were married only a week after the reveal. Kenny and Renee's marriage. Renee and Kenny were married May of 2005. They wed in the Caribbean island of St. John. It was the first marriage for both of them. The ceremony was beautiful and intimate. She walked down the aisle in a Carolina Herrera gown with her father. There were only 35 close friends and family members as guests. It seemed like a love story fit for a romantic comedy. Their honeymoon period was hot and sweet. They both insisted they'd found their ideal person, and they didn't want to wait any longer to make sure. Sadly, this romantic comedy had a tragic end. How it ended? Renee actually hasn't said much about why the marriage ended after 4 months. She's a private person who doesn't believe in airing dirty laundry for the world to see. Kenny has a few possible explanations for why they fell apart despite still loving each other. He admits that his grueling touring schedule was part of the reason his marriage to Renee ended. He takes his job very seriously, feeling that his fans deserve the best. In his own words,
The energy that it takes for me to really focus in and do what I feel like they deserve and what they came and paid a lot of money to see. I'm very tunnel vision about it, and I kind of have the mindset, there might be a kid out there in the audience, and if I do my job, I might could change his life forever. Maybe.
He also cites deeper reasons. Despite the seemingly perfect beginnings of their marriage, Kenny says that he panicked. He told Oprah in an interview that he wasn't ready to put the marriage into the box that included everything else he had worked for and wanted to protect. He wasn't ready to be married at the time, no matter how much he loved her. They both knew that ending the marriage was the right thing to do. The fraud rumors. Renee had the marriage annulled. The process judicially decrees that a marriage never legally existed. An annulment can be legally granted in California for several reasons. They may be granted if one or both parties are under 18, are of unsound mind, bound to a previous marriage, or gave consent to marry by fraud or force. The word fraud appeared as the reasoning on the document filed to annul the marriage to Renee. The only other reasons they could choose were things like physical abuse and other issues that had never come up in their marriage. He said,
Well, I mean, we thought was the least harmful was fraud because it kind of broad, whatever it is, it doesn't specify. Oh boy, we were wrong.
The problem with the word fraud is that it's actually too non-specific. It allowed for rumors about anything to be created, even questions about Kenny's sexuality. Kenny didn't feel a need to prove anything and refused to comment on the rumors at first. He later felt that speaking out against the rumors as early as possible may have been the right move. He said,
Maybe I should have come out and said, no, I'm not. But I didn't want to draw any more attention to it, because I knew I wasn't. I didn't have to prove to anybody that I wasn't, I didn't feel like that I really did. It's not true, period.
He didn't go in early, but eventually had to take a stand. He decided it was time during a revealing interview with Playboy. He said there was a long stream of women who could confirm he was not gay. He even claimed to have slept with over 100 of them. Renee was also part of the efforts to stop the rumors. She still cared about Kenny and attempted to get the truth out there. She wanted to clear the air and hopefully make the rumors stop. She said in an interview that she wanted to, quote, clarify that the term fraud, as listed in the documentation, is simple legal language and not a reflection of Kenny's character. I would personally be very grateful for your support in refraining from drawing derogatory, hurtful, sensationalized, or untrue conclusions, and greatly appreciate your understanding that we hope to experience this transition as privately as possible. The rumors continued anyway, so both stars laid low for a while. It was enough time for their reputations and their hearts to heal. How are they today? Kenny eventually made a statement on The View in November 2005. He had nothing but positive words to say about Renee. He said he was grateful for the short amount of time where they were truly in love, and that it would have been a bad thing if he never met her. Kenny also says he has almost no regrets about the marriage. In his own words, quote, even though I'd sit here and say I wish we'd gotten divorced instead of all that annulment stuff and saved me a lot of public humiliation, I still don't have any regrets. I loved her, and it was real. The intense public scrutiny he faced during the relationship has also turned Kenny into a more private man. He even says, quote, You'd have to be crazy to want to be a celebrity today. Renee feels a great deal of sympathy for him, the times when Kenny's sexuality was put under the spotlight. She feels for him and thinks it was a terrible thing to happen to anyone. Despite her feelings, she sometimes forgets the short marriage even happened, though she knows it's a major thing to forget. The two stars haven't been soured to the idea of love entirely. They've continued to date other people, and both Kenny and Renee are now in new long-term relationships. Kenny has had a string of relationships since Renee. He dated Amy Colley, Miss Tennessee 2005, for 2 years. That lasted until he was spotted with ESPN broadcaster Jen Brown in 2010. He's also been linked with other country stars like Sarah Evans and Miranda Lambert, but those turned out to be just a part of the rumor mill. Today, he's dating a model and dancer named Mary Nolan. They've been dating since 2012. He keeps the details extremely private this time, and the two are rarely photographed together or seen together. Despite this, when they do go out, they seem happy. She was his date to the American Country Countdown Awards in 2014. They were also together at the CMA Awards when she gave him a congratulatory kiss when he won the Pinnacle Award. Renee divorced longtime boyfriend Doyle Bramhall II. She's since been with British TV star and motor specialist Ant Anstead since 2021. It's unclear if either will ever get married again. Their unfortunate union may have put them off on the idea of marriage forever. That's yet to be seen because they both seem to be hopeless romantics with problems finding the right person to settle down with. Early life and career beginnings. Born in Kennett, Missouri in 1962, Sheryl Crow grew up in a close-knit family that encouraged her to follow her passions. Her parents, both musically inclined, gave Crow her first taste of performing, fostering her love for music. She was inspired by the small-town warmth of Kennett and credits her family with helping her stay grounded despite the intense fame that later followed. She attended the University of Missouri, pursuing a degree in music education, initially planning on a career as a teacher. After college, Crow worked as a music teacher in an elementary school. However, the calling to pursue music full-time became too strong to ignore, and she soon moved to LA to follow her dreams. Starting as a backup vocalist, Crow's big break came when she was hired to tour with Michael Jackson as a singer during his Bad tour. The job was both a thrill and an eye-opener, showing her the complexities of fame and life on the road. Though she found success, Crow was exposed to the challenges of the music industry, learning quickly it would take grit and resilience to make it on her own. Quote, "I learned early on that I would need to depend on myself, not anyone else, to make things happen," she said. This determination set the tone for both her career and personal life. Rise to fame. Crow's first album, Tuesday Night Music Club, released in 1993, became an instant hit. Songs like All I Wanna Do and Strong Enough became anthems of the 90s, and her success solidified her position as one of music's most influential artists. She quickly followed up with more hits and Grammy Awards, including albums like Sheryl Crow and The Globe Sessions, which displayed her unique mix of folk, rock, and pop. As her fame grew, so did her resolve to remain true to herself, a theme that began to define her public persona and personal relationships. Music brought Crow immense fulfillment, but it also required a significant personal sacrifice. The demands of her career made it challenging to sustain a long-term relationship, a reality she's often acknowledged. For Crow, music wasn't just a career, it was her identity, her creative outlet, and a source of stability. High-profile relationships. Over the years, Sheryl's love life has been as much a subject of public interest as her music. She's been linked with several prominent figures, and each relationship brought new insights and growth, even if it didn't end in marriage. In the late 90s, she dated Eric Clapton, an artist she had long admired. Though their romance was brief, it was widely publicized, and rumors circulated that Crow's song, My Favorite Mistake, was inspired by Clapton. While she's never confirmed the identity of the song's subject, Crow's music often reflects heartbreak and resilience, themes that echoed her brief but impactful relationship with the guitar legend. Following her time with Clapton, Crow met actor Owen Wilson on the set of The Minus Man, in which she had a supporting role. Their relationship lasted 2 years, and Crow has spoken warmly of Wilson, noting that he was a grounding presence during a transformative time in her life. She even dedicated her song Safe and Sound to him, a song that reflected her gratitude for his support and friendship. Though they eventually parted ways, the relationship served as a reminder that love could be joyful, even when it wasn't meant to last. One of her most publicized relationships was with cyclist Lance Armstrong. Crow and Armstrong began dating in 2003, and their relationship quickly became serious, leading to an engagement in 2005. But the couple broke off the engagement in early 2006. Armstrong later shared that their differing views on family and future planning contributed to the breakup. Crow, who had always envisioned having children, found it difficult to reconcile her dreams of motherhood with Armstrong's reluctance to expand his family. Reflecting on the split, Crow said, quote, "It was hard for me to leave that relationship because it was hard to let go of that dream." Despite their love, Crow realized that her desire for children and family was too strong to compromise, and this relationship helped her further clarify what she truly wanted in life. Other notable relationships.
There's one thing about a woman and the biological clock. You know, we get blamed a lot for the demises of relationships. And I remember my last relationship crumbling largely because that is what I wanted. I didn't want to be somebody's girlfriend and raise their kids. I didn't want to be a stepmom and not be made a wife and a mom.
Crow also had a brief relationship with actor Josh Charles, best known for his role in The Good Wife. The two were spotted together at several events, including the 2003 Grammy Awards, but ultimately the relationship fizzled out. Crow found dating within the entertainment industry both a blessing and a curse. While it provided her with partners who understood the pressures of fame, it also underscored how difficult it was to maintain a private life in the public eye. She later dated musician Doyle Bramhall II, a talented guitarist and producer. Their relationship blossomed while they were working together on her album 100 Miles from Memphis. Although they eventually went their separate ways, Crow's romance with Bramhall reinforced her commitment to remaining true to her passions. Reflections on marriage, relationships, and personal fulfillment. Cheryl's relationships have brought joy, love, and heartbreak, but they've also taught her valuable lessons about independence and self-worth. Though she's been engaged 3 times, she ultimately chose not to marry. Crow has expressed her belief that marriage is not something to be entered into lightly, and she acknowledges the unique challenges of balancing 2 high-powered careers. Quote, "I've always believed marriage isn't something you should enter into unless you're sure," she shared. In recent interviews, she's expressed gratitude for her decision to stay single. "I'm grateful I didn't get married," she said. Crow's refusal to conform to societal expectations has been a recurring theme in her life, and she's remained steadfast in her belief that marriage isn't the only path to happiness. Her independence has become a source of strength and fulfillment, offering her the freedom to live authentically and make choices that align with her values.
I was laughing because I am very close to Ralph Lauren. I love him very much. And it's Fashion Week, and I'm not going to get to go see any of the shows. And I would love to go to his, but I still have the sketches.
Motherhood. In 2007, she took a major step forward in fulfilling her dream of becoming a mother by adopting her first son, Wyatt. 3 years later, she adopted her second son, Levi. Becoming a mother marked a turning point in her life, bringing her a sense of purpose that she hadn't known before. Crow often describes motherhood as the most fulfilling aspect of her life, and she's devoted to raising her sons with a sense of stability and love. The decision to adopt as a single mother wasn't one she took lightly. She acknowledged the challenges of raising 2 boys alone while managing a demanding career, but she also embraced the opportunity to create a family on her own terms. Health challenges and personal resilience.
I think the one thing that did keep me from going back was my cancer diagnosis. And it was like, okay, stop, look at this. Anything that you bring into your life, into your physical body or the body of your spirit that does not serve, is detrimental to health.
In 2006, shortly after her breakup with Lance Armstrong, Crow received a breast cancer diagnosis. She underwent surgery and radiation treatment, a period she describes as life-altering. Later, in 2011, she was diagnosed with a benign brain tumor. While it did not require immediate treatment, the discovery served as a reminder of life's unpredictability. In interviews, she's spoken about how these experiences strengthened her resolve to live life on her terms. Quote, "You realize life is precious, and you can't spend it doing things that don't bring you joy." Her health struggles reinforced her commitment to creating a life filled with meaning, one where she could focus on her children, her music, and her personal growth without the complications of marriage. Current life and perspectives. At 60, Sheryl Crow is a picture of contentment and fulfillment. Her days are spent balancing motherhood, music, and the joys of everyday life. She continues to release music and perform, staying true to her passion while making time for her sons and the life she's built for them.
Crow's story is one of resilience, independence, and the courage to defy societal expectations. "I'm happy, my kids are happy, and that's all I need," she said recently, a sentiment that encapsulates her journey towards self-discovery and personal satisfaction. Bonnie Raitt and Michael O'Keefe. Bonnie and Michael met in the late 80s during a period when both were making waves in their respective fields. Raitt was experiencing a career resurgence after years of battling personal demons, while O'Keefe had made a name for himself as an actor, particularly through his role in The Great Santini and the hit comedy Caddyshack. Their relationship quickly became a subject of public interest, especially as they came from such different worlds. The couple married in 1991 during a time when Bonnie's career was skyrocketing. Just a year before, she had won 4 Grammys, including Album of the Year, for Nick of Time, a career-defining moment that cemented her status as one of the most respected voices in American music. The pair seemed to balance each other well, with O'Keefe supporting Raitt through her touring schedule and demanding career. In interviews, Bonnie often praised her husband for his understanding nature. Quote, "We have a mutual respect," she said in a 1992 interview. "We come from different worlds, but we found a way to make it work." For a time, it seemed like their relationship was the grounding force in Bonnie's otherwise hectic life. But as the years passed, the strains of balancing 2 public-facing careers began to take their toll. Raitt's intense touring schedule, coupled with O'Keefe's acting commitments, meant they often spent long periods apart. This physical distance, paired with the emotional strain of their respective careers, placed increasing pressure on their marriage. Even as they appeared side by side at award shows and public events, the cracks were beginning to form beneath the surface. The reason for the divorce. After 8 years of marriage, Bonnie Raitt and Michael O'Keefe quietly divorced in 1999. At the time, the couple kept the details of their separation private, and speculation about the reasons behind the split ran wild. It wasn't until years later that Bonnie began to open up about what had truly led to the breakdown of her marriage. In a candid interview, she reflected, quote, "It just didn't work out, and it was really heartbreaking. We were both incredibly busy, and that kind of schedule can be hard on any relationship." Raitt's words reflected the deep emotional toll that her constant touring and O'Keefe's acting commitments had on their relationship. The separation wasn't rooted in any dramatic event, but rather was the culmination of years of growing apart. Bonnie hinted that, despite their best efforts, they struggled to maintain the intimacy and connection that had defined the early years of their relationship. Quote, "We still care about each other," she later said, "but sometimes life takes you in different directions." The pressures of fame, along with their competing careers, made it difficult for them to keep their marriage afloat. This honest revelation offered fans a glimpse into the vulnerability and challenges Bonnie faced away from the public eye. Bonnie's commitment to her music, which often kept her on the road for months at a time, became an insurmountable obstacle. As she poured her energy into her career, the distance between her and O'Keefe only grew. Although they tried to make it work, the demands of their professional lives eventually proved too much. Despite the end of the marriage, Bonnie has spoken fondly of their time together and has expressed no regrets, viewing the experience as a meaningful chapter in her life. Other relationships and marriages. Throughout her life, Bonnie has been relatively private about her personal relationships. While her union with Michael O'Keefe remains the most publicized, she's often kept other romances out of the limelight, focusing on her music and activism instead. After her divorce, Raitt admitted to valuing her independence and the space that being single gave her to focus on her personal growth. In an interview, she stated, quote, "I'm at peace with my solitude. I've learned to love my own company, and that's been really important for me." Her words reflect a woman who has found strength in being alone, using that time to heal and reflect. Though there have been rumors over the years about various relationships, Bonnie has never remarried. Instead, she's dedicated herself to her music, environmental causes, and philanthropy, leaving little room for another long-term commitment. She once mentioned that the love and support she received from friends, family, and fans filled the void left by romantic relationships. Quote, "I've been so lucky to have the kind of friends who are like family," she said in an interview. "You don't have to be in a romantic relationship to feel loved or fulfilled."
You know, they were not thrilled at my lifestyle, hanging out with 65-year-old blues guys that drank a lot. They had a little glitch about was my lifestyle. As my 20s went on, they went, you know, I think you need it.
One of the most significant personal battles Bonnie Raitt has faced is her struggle with alcohol and substance abuse. By the 80s, her career hit a lull, and she found herself turning to alcohol as a way to cope with the pressures of fame and the demands of the music industry. Reflecting on that period, she once said, "I was on a destructive path. I didn't think I had a problem because everyone around me was doing the same thing, but I was heading in the wrong direction." The addiction began to take a toll not only on her music career, but also on her personal life, including her relationships. Bonnie's turning point came in 1987 when she decided to enter rehab and get sober. The decision to face her addiction head on was not easy, but it marked a pivotal moment in her life. "It was the best thing I ever did," she later said. "Getting sober gave me clarity, and I was able to focus on what really mattered: my health, my music, and my relationships." Her sobriety came just before she met Michael O'Keefe, and the timing seemed like a fresh start for her, both personally and professionally. While her sobriety was a triumph, it didn't mean her struggles were over. Maintaining a healthy balance in her life became a lifelong commitment, and she's often spoken about the importance of staying grounded and prioritizing self-care. "Sobriety is a daily practice," she said. "It's not something you achieve once and forget about it. It's part of who I am now." Her battle with addiction not only reshaped her personal life, but also became a source of inspiration in her music. The themes of struggle, recovery, and resilience are woven throughout her work, especially in albums like Nick of Time.
My folks loved the music part of it. Were very delighted and proud of me.
Career highlights. Bonnie Raitt's career has spanned decades, filled with critical acclaim and commercial success. She began her musical journey in the 70s, blending her love for blues, rock, and folk into a distinctive style that set her apart. But it wasn't until the late 80s, when she released Nick of Time, that her career truly exploded. Winning 4 Grammys in 1990, including Album of the Year, marked a turning point. As she later reflected, quote, "It was like winning the lottery at a time when I really needed it." But as with many artists, the pressures of sudden success were difficult to manage. While she was on the rise professionally, her personal life often took a back seat. The intensive demands of constant touring, recording, and performing left little time for maintaining relationships. As she once admitted, "I've always been married to my music first, and that didn't leave a lot of room for a traditional personal life." But despite the difficulties, Raitt has never expressed regret about her dedication to her music. Instead, she's embraced the complexity of balancing a high-profile career with personal happiness. "Music has been my savior in so many ways," she once shared. "It helped me get through the tough times, but it also became the thing I leaned on, sometimes at the expense of other parts of my life." Her ability to channel personal experiences, like her heartaches, struggles, and recoveries, into her music has been one of her defining traits as an artist. Reba's first divorce. Most people don't know about Reba's first relationship. It was before she became a household name. The rodeo girl married Charlie Battles, a steer wrestling champion and rancher. He had 2 sons from a previous marriage. They started a ranch in Oklahoma. She divorced him and moved to Nashville to pursue her singing career in 1987. How the second relationship began. Reba married Narvel Blackstock on June 3, 1989, while on a break from filming the movie Tremors. It was 9 years after he had joined her band. The weather was unseasonably cool, so as her memoir says, she wore a simple white cotton long-sleeved summer dress. The couple had a son named Shelby together in 1990. She also gained 3 stepchildren, Chastity, Shauna, and Brandon. They formed Starstruck Entertainment together. It was a company meant to help her career. They also bonded over tragedy. A plane crash in 1991 killed most of her band. He was the one to tell her and the victims' families about it. Consider her gone. Working together and trying to have a relationship eventually led to a situation where the job left no room for romance. She was asked on the Drew Barrymore show about whether working together with romantic partners is a smart move. She says she was not the instigator of the separation. Despite their troubles, she didn't want it. She did realize they'd both be happier elsewhere. Any rumors of cheating have also been shot down on either side. The lack of passion wasn't hurting her career. Narvel was the talented manager who helped her career take off in the 90s and get her a string of American Music Awards, movie and TV deals, and other lucrative projects. Reba feels they were both happier after the decision was finalized.
When someone's not happy, I just want everybody to be happy in their lives because our lives are too short to be miserable. So I just thought it was the best thing to take my marbles, go play somewhere else, is what Daddy used to always said.
That didn't make getting there easy. She's in a good frame of mind now, but it took some time to get there. Reba admits it's easier to forgive than forget on a lot of what went on during their marriage. Leaning on her faith helped her do that and to move on.
I prayed every day to help me have the strength to move one foot in front of the other to continue on with what I'm supposed to be doing and why he put me on this earth in the first place.
The day she got divorced. Reba and Narvel's divorce was finalized in 2015 after 26 years of marriage. That meant it was time to split up the money. Reba is worth an estimated $95 million. Her music and acting career aren't the only contributors to that. Her other projects include her horse farm, talent agency and management firm, jet chartering business, construction company, and Oklahoma restaurant Reba's Place. The settlement still took a major hit to her net worth. She lost almost half of everything. It was a much less dramatic or angry divorce case than most in the celebrity space. It was an amicable split, but came with a large settlement. She had to pay him $47.5 million. Her production manager and CEO had already left. Narvel was her manager and husband. Her father, who could have taken care of anything else, was dead. As she put it, quote, 4 men who were rock and pillars of my world were gone. She saw it as a wake-up call to start taking care of her finances by herself. That made her see how much basic essentials like water and electric bills actually cost. Reba relied on her faith to get through the difficult times. She turned to God when she wasn't sure what to do and said he helped her make the right decision. It worked because her career is doing just fine now. She continues to succeed on stage and on shows like The Voice and her upcoming new sitcom. Keeping the family together. Reba remains in close contact with her stepchildren and her son Shelby. When he turned 33 on February 23, 2023, she took to Instagram to send him well wishes. She posted images of him as a child and today. She talked to People magazine about him, saying, quote, I'm very proud of him. He was a kid who had ADHD and could barely read in school, and now he's read 10 books this year. He's always trying to improve and do better. She wasn't afraid to add, his daddy did a great job too. Her stepson, Brandon Blackstock, married and had a daughter and son with Kelly Clarkson. She said, she was thrilled to death to have my buddy as my daughter-in-law. They divorced in March of 2022. She refuses to take sides in their split, saying she loves them both and wants them to be happy. Finding new love. Reba's road to true love was as rocky and sad as any country song, but it eventually came.
You think, well, I got to fix me before I can go out and have a relationship with somebody else. And I think I'm getting close. I think I might be a great companion or partner now.
She began a relationship with photographer Anthony Skeeter Lasuzo in 2017. They met through his organization Kix Brooks. That relationship did not last long, despite telling the press in April 2019 that they were totally in love. Reba then met the one. She found Rex Linn on the set of 1991's The Gambler Returns: The Luck of the Draw. They reconnected years later when she guest starred on the show Young Sheldon, where he had a recurring role. Rex was bowled over during a night they spent together. He shared photos of them together on January 23, 2020. He said he, quote, had a fantastic dinner with this Oklahoma girl, tater tots and ketchup included. She officially revealed they were dating a few months later during an episode of the podcast Living and Learning. She's not sure why it happened. They had stayed close during quarantine and had a mutual friend in Ed Gaylord. They've even bonded over tater tots. That's his special name for her and her present for contestants on her team on The Voice. Reba and Rex moved in together in 2020 and have been living together ever since. She has nothing but positive things to say about him. It seems he's been able to provide everything her previous relationships couldn't. He's supportive. She says he'll always sit and talk with her after a hard day. Second, their relationship is far more than just business. She says every day is a Valentine's Day for them. They're never afraid to be goofy and affectionate with each other. Third, they care about what each other is interested in. They also bond over shared interests and talk about one another's careers. And they support each other during difficult times. That included getting COVID, the loss of her mother, and more. A fancy wedding to come? Reba and Rex have been spotted together plenty of times. They made their red carpet debut at the Country Music Awards on November 11th, 2020. The couple never forgets date nights, going to movies, concerts, double dates with friends, and even jetting off to Italy. They're even working together. Rex helped her promote her recent song, Somehow You Do, online. They're playing spouses on season 3 of the show Big Sky. She said, quote, to play husband and wife, it's natural for us. Rex and I rehearse all the time to make sure that when we step on that set, we're not wasting anybody's time. We're professionals. We have our stuff together. We show up on time. We're ready. We're not holding up anybody because time is money on the TV set. They're also going to star in a future sitcom together. It's called Happy Place, and it's reminiscent of Reba's original self-titled sitcom that won her so many fans. Distant wedding bells are already ringing for the happy couple. When asked if she'd ever consider getting married again, she said,
"That would be up to him. I've been married twice. He's never been married, so if he wants to, that's totally up to him."
A close source says it's only a matter of time. Early life. Faith Hill, born Audrey Faith Perry on September 21, 1967, in Ridgeland, Mississippi, grew up in the nearby small town of Star. She was adopted as an infant by Edna and Ted Perry, a factory worker and a school secretary who raised her alongside their two biological sons. Her early life in a devout Christian household filled with church choir singing and gospel music laid the foundation for her future musical aspirations. Faith's passion for music was evident from an early age, and she often performed at local churches and family gatherings. Driven by her dream of becoming a country music star, Faith moved to Nashville at age 19. Initially, she faced numerous challenges and setbacks, working odd jobs including selling t-shirts and being a secretary at a music publishing company. Despite these obstacles, her perseverance paid off when she was discovered while performing at a local club. Her talent caught the attention of a Warner Brothers Records executive, leading her to sign with the label. Her debut album, Take Me As I Am, was released in 1993 and quickly propelled her to stardom. The album's lead single, Wild One, spent 4 weeks at the top of the Billboard country charts, marking the beginning of her successful career. Faith's first marriage. Faith Hill's first marriage was to Daniel Hill, a music publishing executive she met shortly after moving to Nashville. The two quickly connected over their shared passion for music and married in 1988 when Faith was 21. During the marriage, she continued to pursue her dreams of becoming a country music star, while Daniel supported her as best he could. But the pressures of Faith's burgeoning career began to take a toll on their relationship. As she worked tirelessly to establish herself in the highly competitive music industry, the demands on her time and energy increased, leaving little room for their marriage. The couple's differing paths and the strain of Faith's rising fame created a bit of a rift. Faith's determination to succeed often meant long hours in the studio and extended periods on the road, which added to the growing distance between them. The relationship became increasingly strained, and by 1994, the couple decided to part ways. The divorce was amicable, with both Faith and Daniel acknowledging that their lives were heading in different directions. Though in more recent times, Daniel has been candid about the reasons for the divorce. He says Faith was going through a lot personally and professionally, and that took a toll on their relationship. But specifically, it was the fact that Faith sought out and met her birth mother for the first time. In an interview, Daniel said, quote, "Meeting her birth mother had a profound impact on Faith, which led to a profound failure of our marriage." Despite the end of the marriage, Faith has spoken positively about Daniel, crediting him with being an important part of her early journey in Nashville. Their time together, though ultimately brief, was marked by mutual support and shared dreams. Faith and Tim. Faith Hill's relationship with Tim McGraw is one of the most celebrated love stories in country music. The two met in 1996 during the Spontaneous Combustion Tour, where Faith was the opening act for Tim. Their chemistry was undeniable, and despite both being engaged to other people at the time, they couldn't ignore their growing attraction. Faith broke off her engagement, and soon after, she and Tim began a whirlwind romance. Their courtship was intense and passionate, leading to their engagement later that year. In October 1996, just a few months after meeting, they married in a private ceremony. The marriage quickly became a partnership personally and professionally. They often collaborated on music, with their duets like It's Your Love and Just to Hear You Say That You Love Me becoming major hits. Their love and mutual respect for each other shined through their performances, making them a beloved couple in the industry. Faith and Tim have always been open about the challenges of balancing their careers with family life, but they've managed to create a strong and supportive household. The couple has 3 daughters, Grace, Maggie, and Audrey. Despite their demanding careers, Faith and Tim prioritized family, often bringing their children on tour and ensuring they maintained a close-knit family unit.
though Tim spoke about the fact that having children right away meant that they had to delay the era in their marriage where they could be alone together. Their commitment to each other and their family has been evident in their public and private lives. They've faced challenges together, including Faith's grief over her father's death. In a heartfelt interview, Faith credited Tim with being her rock during this difficult time, providing her with unwavering support and helping her navigate her loss. Faith's career. Faith's career is marked by a series of impressive achievements that have solidified her status as one of country music's most influential artists. Her breakthrough came with her debut album, Take Me As I Am, in 1993. The success of the debut was followed by her second album, It Matters to Me, in 1995, which produced several hit singles and further cemented her place in the country music scene. In 98, she released Faith, an album that marked a significant shift in her musical style, blending country with pop influences. The album's success was propelled by the hit single This Kiss, which became a crossover sensation, earning her mainstream recognition and numerous awards, including a Grammy. The following year, she released Breathe, one of her most successful albums to date. The title track became an iconic hit, earning her another Grammy and solidifying her reputation as a powerhouse vocalist. Throughout her career, Faith has continued to release critically acclaimed albums, including Cry in 2002 and Fireflies in 2005. Cry showcased a more mature sound and earned her another Grammy, while Fireflies returned to her country roots, featuring the hit single Mississippi Girl. Faith has also ventured into acting, with roles in films like The Stepford Wives and TV shows like Touched by an Angel. Her versatility as an artist and performer has allowed her to maintain a diverse and dynamic career. But even Faith admits there's one thing she can't do.
We had gotten married quickly. We dated for a short time, we got married, and then soon after had a baby. So we didn't have a whole lot of time really to get to know each other that well till we had kids. And now all of a sudden we have this time together. It kind of turned into, we're like having our second honeymoon. Light the candles.
CMA controversy. In 2006, Faith Hill found herself at the center of a controversy during the Country Music Association Awards. It occurred when Carrie Underwood was announced as the winner of the Female Vocalist of the Year award. Cameras captured Faith appearing to react with visible frustration, throwing her hands up and mouthing the word, "What?" Many viewers interpreted her reaction as genuine anger and disappointment, sparking a wave of media speculation and criticism. But Faith quickly addressed the situation, clarifying that her reaction was meant to be a playful joke. She explained she was mimicking a stereotypical diva response as a way to have fun, not to express genuine resentment. Now it's time to hear from you. What's your favorite song from Faith Hill? Let us know in the comments section below.